Matchday. Hello ladies and gents, and thanks for joining us back here at the ESL Pro League. 2 more matches left tonight and for the rest of the week, and an interesting storyline between these two, at least individually coming forward. Mousesports versus NiP. Now there's a lot to say, I guess, in terms of these twos, but let's start at the start. NiP are coming in now with a player to swap with Disco Doppeln.
Yeah, I mean, Disco Doppeln was standing in for them in the beginning of Pro League, obviously playing for Epsilon, and now he has duties with his own team, and seeing how NiP is also traveling next week to Star Series, they needed a replacement which is not tied to a team. So Michael, seeing as how he played for them before as well, late 2014, early 2015, he seems like the, you know, go-to choice for them.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun to see, obviously, Michael being part of this lineup previously, and you know, they did quite well, and then things happened, you know, more apparently on the social side of things.
Right.
And now he does bring an interesting skill set. He's the kind of a wild card type of a player who goes for the flashy plays, and now it's interesting to see how does NiP build this up. Are they going to have 4 guys just doing their own thing and just let Michael do what he wants to do, or how do they make it work?
Yeah, I think they said that whenever there's a stand-in, they, you know, give him some freedom in the sense of positions and all that stuff. But we saw that on the T side with Disco Doppeln as well. They still went for their execute. So I think it's going to be a mix of things. Yeah. Maybe a bit of a problem for them that Michael playstyle, his playstyle may be a bit more loose than Disco Doppeln. So
I guess the difference now, though, the problem, I guess you could say, is the fact that Michael hasn't played in the top echelon for a little while now.
Since Columbus, pretty much.
Since Columbus, yeah, it's been quite a while.
And you come out of the phase machine that is, right, this group of players who are all incredibly individually skilled.
Brothers, of course.
Brothers, yes, that too. They're all incredibly skilled and like to play, as far as they say, a free-flowing game style. And you're back in NiP here, and you are the stand-in for Michael Elliott. It's going to be an interesting experience as well. Nata, you coached NiP. You were there. I mean, we don't really want to talk about the issues that sort of brought him through, but we want to talk about how he fit into...
PTSD kicking in.
Yeah, there's the triggering. No, seriously. His role, we know what his role was, or maybe you can tell us a bit more about what his role was in NiP and how you probably might expect or can guess it would look now that he's coming in just to stand in.
Well, I was in NiP after he left. I was in when Alo was there. But, yes, you know, the 5th guy in NiP has never had a fun time, has he? Always being the one with the flashes in hand, throwing the smokes and Molotovs, dropping weapons and stuff. So...
That's why Pitt hurt his wrist. He was throwing too many flashbangs.
There we go. No,
top
I mean,
banter.
Top class banter. No, I mean, I think he was actually, when he was playing in NiP, I felt like, you know, he was actually given a lot of room to be kind of the wild card that he wants to be. But how does it? Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to say. Then now, I guess like we were discussing there before. Now he gets to do a little bit more of that, just jumping around, trying to do flashy plays, trying to create openings. You know, that's the kind of, when you go on the main up or you're given those rights, that's kind of the playmaker position, the superstar position, if you like, the striker on the team. And now I'm sure he's 100%, 110% motivated at this point, having not been in the top scene for quite a while, to showcase that he's still got it. You know, maybe get himself an opportunity to join a top-tier team in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, he's tasted glory before, so no doubt he's hungry to return for it here. He's actually going to Kiev with NiP as well, so we'll be attending LAN with them. There's quite a big switch up there as well on NiP, obviously, in a position where they're having to sort of, I guess, keep refreshing that position, or at least have a player that can fit that role. No one, at least, is going to steal Michael Elliott away to go back to his team at any time soon. But let's go into this one a little bit more. We're going to see Cbble and Cash here, and we know what NiP are like on Cash, but let's talk a bit about Cbble. It's a map that has been somewhat problematic, if I may use the term, in 2016 for Mousesports in recent times.
Definitely, they had troubles closing out the map, notably against the former Luminosity team, now SK. At Katowice, they had, I think, a 14-6 lead, something of the sorts, couldn't close it out. Then against NiP in Columbus, they picked it for some reason, while Dust 2 was open. But yeah, I think the biggest problem for Mouse on Cobblestone was that in some of the easier rounds, so to speak, right, maybe anti-ecos or where opponents have a weak buy, they were indecisive at times what they want to go for. They spent too much time not doing anything on the map, and then they would could lose because there's not enough time left if something goes wrong, right? But I think with the addition of Kassad, it's pretty obvious that, you know, they're not as hesitant as they used to be. He brings more initiative to the team, more explosive plays. So I'm interested to see how they will fare now with the addition of Oscar as well.
Yeah, I think Oscar obviously is one of the keys here in terms of where he is really good at taking calculated risks, so that he knows when he can push and when he has to fall back. And that is a quality that not even that many top operators really have. They will overextend a lot of times when they need to already fall back. But he's really good at reading the situations, and I think they can if they can utilize that in their favor, then that's going to be great for Mousesports in the future.
It's going to be really important for Mouse to you know, deal with Get Right and his jumping into drop all the time as T, because if you just give up that drop control without reacting, it's going to be pretty difficult for you to hold the B bomb site.
All right, well, it could be an issue there as well. Mousesports need to keep an eye on him. And I love that you brought up this risk assessment for AWPers as well. It's a topic we talked on earlier tonight as well. So what is the risk here in this game? We'll have to see if Mousesports can jock the odds a little bit more in their favour going on towards Cobblestone. Your casters for this one are going to be Henry G and Sadikist.
Yes, hello, Henry. We meet again.
We do.
We keep running into each other like this.
It's got to stop happening.
Yeah, it definitely does. But for now, you'll have to endure it. It's going to be Mousesports and IP, and as mentioned, both teams kind of getting through the season, not convincing fashion by any means. NiP a little bit more form later on, but they had a struggle to start things out. Double split series with Virtus Pro, having a lead in both games and then kind of blowing it in the second one. Mousesports on the other side last night. Obviously, the split with G2, but looking a little better, I think, with Oscar in the lineup.
Well, we've got Michael Ailey jumping in as well.
Yeah, good point.
So this anything really can happen here. I assume they'll be going back to a looser NiP playstyle. They haven't had much time to get Michael in here whatsoever. Looks like we'll begin straight into this. NiP on the T side of Cobble, and we're on board with Michael Ailey and the aforementioned Merc for this team, and he's going to be 4 sets of armor, 4 NiP, and a Molotov and a smoke as well. A lot of boost coming in. Nico trying to get up. With the assistance of Speedy as well. Get Right's waiting for him though. He's got to be careful, but he nails the headshot. There it is, just to give him that little bit of an advantage going into this pistol. Now that shuts down Get Right, but it looks like NiP are focusing towards the A side of the map here. Freiburg and Michael still actually just feeling this one out, seeing if there's any presence from the CTs whatsoever. But so far, so good.
And Exist will be the one to start clearing out the bottom and danger positions at this A approach. Chris J, a bit of an open position. He's trying to find the angle. Considered looking down the ramp. He would have been caught. Thankfully, doesn't go all the way to it. Finds, decent damage as well. And Freiburg smokes himself into a position where they would have had to cross by design. Slight gap, but gets caught in the process. However, Dennis and Speedy are here to pick up the pieces. And the pieces are now fumbling away from NiP. There's just one left. It's Forrest, and he gets found immediately.
Lovely. Hello?
That was bizarre.
Lovely stuff there from Mousesports to kick things off. Yeah, I think it's okay now. We saw that boost coming in at the start of the round just to get that bit of information and stop anyone going towards the drop-down room. That was Get Right, often the lurk player for NiP. Once you shut him down, that funnels the rest of NiP and forces him to make their move. It was towards long A and middle as well, and just good crossfires from Mousesports, holding them off. Nico picking up 2, same story for Speedy as well. So no bomb planted for NiP. We'll see the Tech-9s and the Deagles come out. We'll see whether they can actually get the bomb there. Looks like Michael will be the AWP here. That was the question mark we discussed today, but actually making something of this run actually exists. Gets the kill with the Tech-9 towards Chris J. Actually got the man advantage, but taking a lot of damage here as they start to fall back, and Oscar locking them down with the scout towards middle.
Ooh, lovely stuff again as he goes back out. Second shot, 2 in a row on Get Right. He goes down, the nade in, and NiP are bleeding out at this point in time.
Yeah, this is the problem. They had that man advantage, but the scouts answers back. 3 on 3, but Exist on 2. Frost on 20, Freiburg 40. One shot potential on all of them, really. They have managed to pick up a couple of rifles, though, so that boosts their chances. But Oscar, very deadly with the scouts. I would say probably wanting to go towards B here, but there's been so much time passed in the meanwhile. They've actually lost track of where he could be towards drop down. It seems that's where Exist will be trying to go. He's the player with 2 HP and the M4A4, but has got one player waiting on the other side of the wall for him. Actually gets towards connector here. Could make it in cleanly.
Could do, but Oscar going to find Exist immediately. Speedy falling back will, in theory, with that position, wait for them to allow them to get to the platform, allow them to advance, and then catch them off, especially Forrest being on 24. Takes an early peek, and again, low HP, still able to pick up Freiburg, and then he'll close it out. So doesn't necessarily let them walk all the way to the bomb site, but regardless, finds the kills. It'll be 2-0 for Mousesports. Those 2 kills coming off of an SMG will build up some cash as well, but now NiP They just got to wait one more. No bomb plants out of this, and quite frankly, very little kills to work with. There's one on everyone. That's about it, but it's not like one person has built up even money to force in this situation.
Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting that round was very successful at the start, but Mousesports quite disciplined and not giving too much away once it came down to the equal situation. Oscar stepping up with the scout, then the 5-7, so this will be the full eco now from NiP. As I was mentioning before, it looks like Michael will actually be the AWP player for NiP. Well, obviously, we talk about Pitts being that role on the T side when Forrest is doing on the CT, so Michael's stepping in. I guess that fits in quite nicely for that grenade from the top middle. Completely wrecks NiP. This should be a pretty simple round, but Get Right does find something with the Glock. Oscar, though, with the UMP, chiming in and shutting this situation down. They're going to have a big struggle now to do anything with this round. Forrest and Freiberg below 10 HP, and that's going to be it as Chris J and Speedy mow them down towards danger. So 4 players staying alive for Mousesports. First round, gun round comes in. Michael can get the AWP. He will be glass cannon.
Every single player in NiP with 1 kill now, literally. This is the last time I said it. Chris didn't get right, that is.
Oh, he's got body armor. So it's not full glass cannon, but no head armor against the M4s. That's still pretty problematic. Oscar picking up the AWP as well. We'll see what he decides to do. I haven't seen too much of him on cobble so far, and he's actually heading in towards the B-bomb side. Michael, of course.
This is the classic. Welcome back to 2014/15 early.
Yeah.
Michaelele will be on the op,
push.
not Forrest. He's got 2 players beside him. They're trying to set this up, but they're going to get caught off by a push. It's Chris J with 2 kills. Finally, he'll go down. Where did the second member go? Michaelele flash, and Dennis comes back around the corner. Exist, sure, traded, but 36 HP for him. They're still down a man. Freiberg's going to have to go aggressive to hear him coming. Great crosshair placement, though, as he finds Speedy in return, wrapping into the site from long. Forces Nico to go up and spew a sermon from the preacher's pulpit above on the balcony as Oscar slowly rotates over. Freiberg advancing is going to try and hold balcony from below. Problem is, the longer he takes to get here, they've got to cross over with that smoke out on the doorway. They've just gotten there. You can just see it dissipating as Exist gets in position. He'll plant in behind that slight crack in the wall, which with the names enabled, you can see that player doing so, but Freiberg again was up close, which wouldn't have allowed them to peek it quite so comfortably. And now he'll play the APC. 2 versus 2. And both coming from relatively the same position. Nico on the M4 and AWP in the hands of Oscar. It's the 2 star players, if you will, for Mousesports. Damage, not much. Thrown toward Freiberg. Gets 8 HP as he gets clipped through the wall. Snaps back, though, and Oscar, he's come out and caught him in the open. Nico's going to find Exist trying to peek the doorway rather than reface the AWP, and it's another round for Mousesports.
That's a very interesting approach from Mousesports at the start. We talk about Cobble being one of those maps where you don't really have the option for those aggressive pushes at the start, and normally that is absolutely true. But I guess Mousesports is throwing the rulebook out the window there, showing that it can be some sort of aggressive tactics if you are to go against the meta, for example. Pushing long with 2 rifles like that, that's not advised at all. Normally, an AWP will be watching towards the top of middle very defensively, or even an AK. I guess that is NiP just weren't expecting that at all. The first 2 kills coming from Mousesports, and Dennis, with Audacious flashbang, gets the 3rd as well. We talked about Makalady having no head armor. He got punished for that. And this Mousesports picking up the first gun round here on the CT side of Cobble. Getting the double AWP set up as well. Oscar aggressive towards the upper platform here. There is another buy available for NiP after getting the plant down, but Makalady, he's just going to be on the Tech 9 as 4 AKs accompanying him. But a lack of utility. They've got 3 smokes. And it looks like a B-sided attack here. The flashes come over. I'd like to see how deep their executions can be here with the addition of Michaelady in the team. But Mike, it's going to be Forrest actually opening things up. Nico doing some absolute work with the AK-47 to find 2 kills.
Nico gets the shot, though, over top of the flames. Freiberg falls. It's Get right back into him immediately as they walk out. This gives Michaelele a chance. Speedy's caught. They're low HP. And now it's back to another 2 versus 2 situation late as NiP managed to find equalizing kills, working with strength and numbers. But watch Chris J advancing. Oh, it gets caught out. Good push from Get right, but Dennis was right there. He goes around the statue instead. Get right's going to hold it. And it's, I was about to say 3 kills rather in the round for him. Regardless, it's the round for NiP, which is extremely important, all things considered. Round 5 as well after losing the first gun for NiP.
Yeah, these rounds have been pretty intense so far. Like I said before, NiP haven't had much time to get Michaelele into this roster. I want to see how tactical they can be. Since Threat joined the lineup, they've been known for these really innovative set executions on Cobble especially. And it seems like obviously that was a round of less smokes. It was quite a simple execution, smokes going over. And Nico absolutely lighting them up at the start of the round, but great one-on-one play from Get Right. Finds them the first round. Still in quite a interesting position. The money has been fully invested into this round. This probably would be Resetting either side onto an eco. Chris J aggressive. He's even got the scout though. That's a really interesting angle to take with the scout. He doesn't actually land the shot and gets taken down, but a boost for Dennis could pay dividends here, but Freiberg checks it. Nice efficient play from him. No need to rush now. They've actually got a huge man advantage. They know the CTs will be rotating over, so they're smoking the key positions. Balcony and connector. This is looking great for NiP. At this point, Mousesports need to work out, is it worth going for it? We can't really win this round. We don't have the fuse kit. We're smoked out. We've got nothing really to work with. We have an AWP to save. I think that's exactly what they're doing now. And you can see them just turtling up towards the B side. That's the right call, in my opinion. There was little to no chance of them winning that round. And although it's a bitter pill to swallow, like I said, if they were to lose this, it's a full reset. So taking 3 weapons into the next round is certainly more beneficial than nothing. Especially with a player like Oscar as well. We talk about players like Guardian, for example. Just him and an AWP and some pistols on a map like Cbble can actually lead the round victories. If he can go for the aggressive picks at the start of the round, upper platform towards middle, for example. And there's lots of rotation potential as well after getting that first pick.
Shots through the door from Freiberg. Another man. Situation where they're just trying to pick up what they can and salvage weapons for Mousesports. It's going to be 2 in a row now for NiP. GeT desperate to find one more gun inside of that smoke, but NiKo was able to survive, fall back. Was given ample opportunity to do so after securing the 1 exit kill. It's going to be second round as mentioned, but Michael back onto the AWP, as with Oscar, as he picks it up on Mousesports' side. But money, this is it for them. They buy here, and then it's gone. And they barely buy here, to be fair. 2 5.7s to go around it. So this is them really trying to keep this lead and limit NiP's economy early, because 3 in a row in an efficient manner, could be a huge problem for them, especially on this CT side, if they let NiP efficiently get away with so many guns.
So we saw Oscar there to start the round trying to go for that aggressive pick towards middle, but denied by the flashbang. Nice work from NiP. So certainly going to be setting themselves up for something towards the A side here by the looks of things. It'll be 3 players towards long A. Chris J using the smoke to delay them a little bit. Will he push this? This could be a very cavalier move, and he does try to do it, but Freiberg, he's ready. Half blind, takes him down. It's up to Dennis now. He's the other player with the 5-7. They're working together in this area, using another smoke. I doubt he'll be pushing this one. Nothing really to gain at this point. There's so many terrorists on the other side, and his teammate would have given him information. So holding this angle, it's pretty much good for 1 kill. That'll be enough to maybe give them a round victory if Oscar can have enough time to rotate over.
So Forrest will start to work with them out toward long, where Freiberg's already playing.
Here we go.
Try and pinch back the 2 here, but they're going to trade this in. Again, the pistol's bought up. Dennis is the last one alive with one as Chris goes down early. They want to try and bait that 5-7 in. Now, Deathcam would have seen Dennis in the corner. They know he's there. They're going to try and hold the angle. He cannot go for that AK. Forces him back in the sight, but the AWP on Oscar's hands has already gone passively back in that position. Top of the hut, nearly gets taken down, but finds a lovely reactive shot toward his left, and Forrest falls it suddenly. Down to a 1-man advantage. Mousesports side, 4 versus 3. Dennis playing cannon, so again another angle where that pistol will come into play. And Oscar's going to play barrels as well, which is so far back. A nade would take him out in this position, but do they know he's here? GeT will find Dennis in return. Pistol threat gone. But now Oscar going to line up. Look at that. That's so linear. You walk out from either the front of tables or the back. Doesn't matter. You're into a crosshair. 1 shot, nearly another. But GeT has cleared out the player at the balcony. That'll allow him up beside the APC. And it's a flank from NiKo. Bomb being planted safely. And GeT again will have all the wits about him to watch toward that flank with the timing. 3 kills again for him in another round. 3 in total for NiP.
Very scary rounds here for NiP. Every single time, like we said, when Oscar has the AWP, so much potential for him. I think he's such a great asset for Mousesports going forward. Now he is on a full-time AWP responsibility. Taking that from Chris J. You can see the impact he can have on these rounds. So close to winning that one as well. 3 great shots hit by him, but good teamwork coming in from NiP towards the end there. And GeT seems to be in very good form right now. This coming up big for his team in these clutch situations. 4-3 now, and it's actually going to be 3 rounds in a row for NiP. So just recovering from that 4-0 deficit. They've broken the economy of Mousesports as well now. PG-50s, Deagle in the hands of NiKo. He's got body armor as well. Looks like we're trying to get something going on the upper platform here, but GeT once again shutting them down as he's working towards drop down himself. NiKo, we know how deadly he can be with this Deagle, but I don't think this is the right angle for him.
And watch Michael as well that was staring it down. AWP in hand, he gets flashed back, so it does allow NiKo to get away. Ooh, Exist, he needs to be careful. No utility on that CT side. A single nade would take Exist down at this point. They're both trying to keep that angle held with the pistols, but they've got to be cautious of the fact that, all right, exactly that. Michael was getting closer with an AWP, and what could potentially push him back. Speedy down inside of the site though. NiKo still low HP on the stairwell, caught off. Late push in from Forrest, and GeT still alive in all of this as well. It's he who will once more find Chris. He's putting himself, I have to say, GeT is putting himself in decent positions. 4 kills that time around. He seems to be finding the timings and just not overplaying the lurk position. He's not forcing the play tonight. We talk about sometimes where he seems to think he has to push through smokes and make the magic happen. Tonight, he's just quietly getting into a position and then holding it down very well. And it leaves him alive late, and he's very good in the late situations.
I think he knows they're a little bit weakened at the moment in terms of just losing Disco Doppelins when they've been working for 2 weeks. It's the first showing with Michael as well. He probably can't be as audacious. He doesn't got the teamwork to rely and fall back on, so he probably has to be more part of the unit, and that's a great work from Freiburg to kick things off. A double kill towards drop down. They were trying to boost Oscar up, but it didn't work out for them, and Freiburg seems to be back to his old self as he finds the first 2 kills. Exist chimes in as well, and it's going to be a 5-on-2 as quickly as it started. That round is over, and NiP just swarming in towards the B site, and what a great play that was from Freiburg. It's been a while since we've seen those kind of plays from him, and
he's had a few games this year. I think Overpass against VP, he was fairly solid.
It's true. I'm just trying to create a storyline, you know.
All right, I get it. We have to be storytellers here. Exactly. Yeah, we are drama queens, so we'll spread the drama elsewhere. I think that the old adage kind of comes to effect there. He who hesitates loses. They were slow to go for that boost and didn't really do much to clear it out once they did. And Freiburg was already at the corner. That's a timing that if you go for it and you commit to it early, you beat the T's there every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's going to be guns to say for Mousesports once again. Chris J has managed to get the AWP. Dennis with an M4 as well. They're sticking together. At this point, I think the money's starting to swell for NiP. They can probably justify going on the hunt here, and they absolutely are, as Get Right makes his way towards the middle, and Forrest coming in from long A as well. But Chris J now giving his position away. It's going to be difficult for them to hold off the incoming terrorists as flashbangs do start to come in. Chris J was being defended by Dennis there, but Forrest hits the first shot and nails the second as well. Lovely work from him. And it's going to be 4 players surviving. 4 NiP, managing to pick up an AWP as well. We'll just check in with Michael Eddy's performance. Obviously, he's going to have a bit of a spotlight on him at the moment. He's going to have 3 for 6. Hasn't had to do that much work, to be honest. The rounds they've been winning, it's been his teammates opening it up, the bomb site for him. Obviously, with the AWP on Cbble, he's doing a slow pick mentality. If no one's giving you the opportunity to hit the shots, not really much you can do about that.
Yeah, and okay, if you're flashy enough and you're quick enough, on A, you can definitely do something in a post plant with the AWP, but B is the better spot for a post plant position for the AWP. So if you're not finding openings, you are going to be a little more quiet, and you could see history of that with Michael Ellie on NiP as well. If you that's just. You talk about getting CSGO'd, the misses, well, that's equal example in return. The scout jump shot, we all know it exists. So too does exist, and if you didn't, well, he's definitely just been reminded.
Get right, don't do it.
He's considering it. Look at the crosshair placement. Line that up with the head of Chris, but or rather, I gotta call him Get Right tonight, not Chris, because Chris J's in the server, but with Get Right. Speedy, he'll go boost it up. Chris walks in, Get Right. I just did it again. I said I wouldn't. He's got the headshot. I was gonna say that you can go back and find proof of Michael Ellie being kind of quiet on this map with the AWP as far as X Games. Now, a very different version of this map. It didn't have the long extension in toward B, but on A site, CT side, he was very commonly whiffing shots. He's much better over toward B. Forrest, take down Nico to start this off with the AK. And when I say start this off, the execution, that is, towards the B site, clearing out all possible positions with just the pistols on hand for Mousesport. Oscar will get a little bit closer toward the tree, and maybe Dennis can distract to allow him to push up, but he's electing to watch drop instead. Dennis does hit the shot on Forrest from far. And Oscar with a smoke to his left is going to have to bait this out based on the sound cues of that of the bomb going down in the hands of Freiburg. He's down to Chris J. They've got a chance in this. Oscar last alive, though, as Michael Lele does find a shot. This is exactly what I was talking about. Post-plant position B site, specifically with the addition of that new stairwell. That whole entire open platform at B-Long, the AWP is so powerful, and Get Right will close it out on Oscar.
6 rounds in a row for NiP, up against a partial buy there from Mousesports. Nico made things interesting with the jumping scout shot, but once again, it's Forrest, Get Right to just find the returning kills. This is the replay right now. Pretty disgusting if you're on the receiving end of that, but nice innovative work there from Nico to get the opening kill. Now the money has started to stabilize for Mousesports, going for the double AWP setup on Cbble. Be Chris J and Oscar, pretty deadly duo if you ask me. We'll see whether Oscar can rise to the occasion. This is a classic NiP. B smokes coming in. Obviously, there's potential there to go towards A as well. That's the beauty of that setup. But Get Right going in aggressive towards B. Looking for that first pick. Oscar is there as well, but a missed throw. Molotov could cause him trouble as he does go down there. I'm not sure whether that would have worked out had they landed the Molotov, but a good return frag from Exist as he sprays him through the smoke.
Yeah, sitting that far with a nade in your hand when you know there's a threat right around the corner is a huge problem. Speaking of threat, Nico, rather speedy on the right timing of the peak. Nico did get the first kill before him, but that is a well-executed and timed play from the CTs. They're not done just yet, though, NiP. It's Freiburg that's left alive. And a flash, yes, I know where you're going with this one, chat. We'll include you from time to time. Freiburg doesn't really care who's watching. He's just doing this to win the round, and he's done it as well as he goes ahead and picks up the AWP to catch off the last remaining player in Chris J.
Well, the flash doesn't work out, but the clutch certainly does. Lovely stuff from Freiburg there. You can see, well, that's 12 HP as well. I have to wonder why Dennis couldn't land a single bullet there as well. Chris J ready for the return frag as well, but Freiburg's picked up the AWP. Intelligent stuff from him. Pre-aims it perfectly. Picks up 4 kills that round as well. And that's going to be how many rounds in a row now? 7 for NiP. They've, ever since that 4-0 deficit, they've won every single round. Pretty impressive stuff so far. NiP looking pretty hot since the addition of Michael. And not like he's been the pivotal factor. It seems like everyone else is stepping up. Freiburg's had some really influential rounds. That one especially.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely so. No question about it. That's a very impressive 4K clutch out for Freiburg, especially considering he had 12 HP when the last 2 players were left. So well done for him. 1 versus 3, I think, is what it started as when it was just him left alive to do so. But 12 in a row, confirmation on screen. Mousesports, no surprise, tactical flash. I'm looking at chat right now. I should not be. You guys are a bad influence on me. Almost as bad as Henry G. But tactical pause for Mousesports.
I guess it's
And
time
what do you fix? It seems like the timings that round were better, but overall they're slightly off in how they want to peak against this entering terrorist team.
Well, the thing is, right, they know he's low HP. They've been told that. They're both facing the same angle. The idea is you're giving them 2 targets. Someone needs to be hitting that shot. Like, I guess at this point, it's just a time to calm down. They want to start bickering at this point. Kassad probably is like, do you know what, guys? You need to take a pause and just chill out right now because, you know, we've all seen the clips of from E-League and stuff like that. Nico, definitely a very emotional player, can be the one shouting at his teammates when they do stupid things. And I don't know, that wasn't necessarily a stupid thing. It was just more of like, you should be hitting that shot. Like Dennis seemed to have a perfect opportunity to get the first bullet in. 1 would have been enough. He sprayed about 10, couldn't land the shot. And you have to ask yourself, did they play that smart enough? They could have done a lot more. Obviously, it limits Freiburg's options there with 2 HP. If you don't face him at all, he's got to work a lot harder and commit to the side before he even gets a shot on you. They were both giving him opportunities from the upper platform, and obviously he's above them. He has options to hide and reface, which he exactly did. So at this point, they are going to be taking, is this a force buy? No, it's just a partial buy coming in. Deagles, PD50s, 5.7s, some body armor as well. You can't really see it amounting to much, but 7 rounds in a row for NiP after such a great start as well. They've got to try and make something happen here. So we'll see whether the CZs and 5.7 can do anything about it.
Nico, quick little check with the knife out. Goes in toward the bottom of the stairwell. Ooh, that's why. Gets the lineup and absolutely drills Forrest in the face with that deagle. But the Molotov comes in. He's got to vacate the premises. Doesn't matter. He's done his job. That's lovely.
Every time he has a deagle, it seems to happen. And all of a sudden, get right. That's a questionable exchange. By himself, we talk about this in anti-ecos, Matt. You've established they're just on pistols. Should you be going into key choke points by yourself with no teammates to refrag for you without using any utility, you're just blindly facing and hoping for the best? Definitely a topic for discussion. I would say definitely not. But Get Right had other ideas about that one. He's given a lot away here. Michael whiffs the shot towards the upper platform as well. And it's going to be a very difficult round for NiP to concede here. After Nico did such a fantastic job, you can't really do too much about that. That's just an amazing shot from him, but the second kill certainly didn't need to happen. Existo, 16 HP. They know exactly where he is. He's got the AWP. And we saw Mousesports overcommit, potentially in that Freiburg situation. This time, probably don't want to make the same error. Don't give them any targets to shoot at. They know a potential A plant could come in as well. They're staying together for now, which isn't necessarily a problem. They can let the bomb go down towards A and then just go in together and give him multiple targets. But now they're probably starting to realize with 5 seconds remaining and no sign of him, it will be. Oh, is he just saving? I assumed he'd be running to his. Okay, he's probably, to be fair, it's probably a good call from Exist. He wants to save the AWP and he assumes with 10 HP that someone will be waiting for him on A, right?
They've got so much money. I mean, you're right to assume that he could try and push for that and just make what he can out of nothing and try and pull the rabbit out of the hat. But I like the long approach. This is actually more of a threat mentality. We've talked about this, where they think ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Mousesports, somehow after losing 7 big rounds in a row, it's the partial buy after the pause, of course, that gives them window here to pick up round number 5. Still a pretty considerable lead for the Ninjas. We go into round number 13 here. Double orbs for Mousesports once again. We have got some presence towards long A as well, towards Danger. They get right by himself towards B. He's trying to be a nuisance here, and a nuisance he shall be, as Chris J trying to lock him down here, but it takes serious damage as he tries to stay alive. Basically, he wants to try and take someone down with him. This is probably the correct call at this point. Fall back. He's known let his presence be known, and his teammates are ready to strike a long A.
Same bait and switch play that they tried with Dennis when they were limited to 5-7s after going down. I think it was 4-3 at that point in time when NiP started the run, basically. But this time it's with the AK-47 on Dennis. Michael Ailey is trying to clear the corner. They've already got Forrest out from the danger stairwell, up close, ready to go in if a flash were to round that corner, but they're going to try and rely on the pick instead, and Oscar, he's going to walk back out. That crosshair, we saw it, is already placed. He's going to have to be so fast with his reactions. Michaelele a little bit too quick. In fact, fires before he gets in full position. That allows Dennis to peek out, and Freiburg will fall. It's 19 HP left on Dennis. As a smoke, perhaps baiting them into thinking he's gone away.
Well, I guess to start with there, he was waiting for the spray for the smoke to come in and actually take him down. But now he realized no one's going to be doing that. They wouldn't expect him to stay in that position, but apparently they absolutely do. As Forrest finds the first kill, Michael finds Oscar as well.
If Oscar had pulled the trigger and gotten away with it, they were perfectly lined up, but you're dead right. Michaelele will find one. It's left to Speedy. Get right, he's going to find him. And now the rotations arrive. So NiP gets two as soon as he gets there. I was going to say they're going to have the hard task of cutting off the bomb before it gets there. The bomb's the one close to the bottom of balcony. It's the AWP the other way. Michaelele's got one in the round. He's going to try and find more, but Chris catches him off as he's looking for NiP.
NiP just keeps stepping up in these really key situations. This time it's the double kill with the AK-47 to give them an option to actually win the round as well. Michael actually had the AWP shot lined up, to me, it looked like, but didn't seem to land. And unfortunately for him, that 2v1 situation was a stretch too far for him to pick it up. But Mousesports found round number 6. After that pause, they picked up both the rounds in a row. And NiP still have money as well, but all in the hands of Michaelele. 4 AKs, not an immense amount of utility to work with, but back towards B. Before it was Get Right by himself, it's going to be Forrest lurking towards middle, just holding off any aggression potentially here. As Oscar is watching those mid doors. Slower approach from NiP this time, as they send 2 players to drop down. Freiburg did such a good job to get the entry frags before. This time it's Chris J can't land that first shot.
Do it, line it up. Oh, that flash. In some ways, that saves Michaelele's life because he's forced back around the corner. Chris J had the crosshair placement almost dead perfect. He's going to go arch. Now, keep in mind, NiP do not have Molotovs to spare in this situation, so They can't clear that. Good pickup on Michaelele. A little bit of tags going through. Get Right's come down drop, but he's traded by Speedy after clearing out NiP at the tree. It still leaves the man advantage in the favor of the CTs in this situation. That's gone. Freiburg late through the arch will pick up one more. It's a repeat from Speedy, though, so they're trading everything and actually playing quite well in this.
3 versus 2. It's Exist and Forrest to try and finish things off here. Forrest towards the end of long 8. He's actually made his way out as well towards the fence area. Dennis on the bomb side, so this is actually pretty sneaky from Forrest. Oscar, though, perfect lineup there. Look at that angle. That's just absolutely perfection, and it's going to be Exist in the 3 versus 1. Nice sort of setup there from Mousesports, to be fair. They've got every angle covered. It's only smoke that can lock them down, and Forrest could have waited for Exist and smoked off that position, but decided not to. And 20 seconds remain. And there's the smoke I just mentioned. And we'll see whether we can do anything with it now.
That bomb, I mean, that smoke's great. Cuts off 2, but the 3rd member on the minimap, we can see it. He doesn't yet know it. Will he check it? Does. Crosshair placement not quite in perfect position to take Dennis down, though.
Yeah, even if he got that kill, he really would have struggled to get the bomb down there. I think it was at 4 as he would have killed him. So probably was a loss regardless. We go into round number 15 here. Mousesports recovering quite nicely. If they actually managed to pick up the CT half here and win 8-7, that's pretty massive moral victory going into the next half. It still is definitely a T-sided map, and that potentially could happen. As you can see, NiP with the 4 Tech 9s, and they've got an AK just in the hands of Get Right as well, but we saw Mousesports pick up that partial buy. No reason why he can't do it with the Tech 9s as well. Still very deadly in these close range situations. They can just get out the upper platform. Get Right, very aggressive here, looking for the opening kill.
Get Right, again, gets caught aggressively in that position. We saw them do the same thing with a Molotov last time, and it actually was misthrown. It caught him out. This time, NiP just straight up out-brawls him. He's going to do the same thing to Exist, who comes around the corner, trying to re-grab gun and use Tech 9 to advantage. Can't do it. A little glance to exactly what's going on in the mind of Chris J over on the A site. A little bit of activity shifts that direction, but NiP's getting aggressive at B long, and he's in a prime position again to catch them off here with this AK-47. He'll hear them, I think, from that range running away. He should have heard that. That's right on the edge, I think, of the sound cue. And whether or not he did or didn't, they've got a 3rd member starting to rotate over toward A regardless. That's Oscar with AWP behind that doorway. Quick shot through the door, preemptive, trying to catch them off. Doesn't matter, Speedy will do it through the vent regardless. Now he's got a lineup, but that nade takes away the vision. It's Speedy that's going to step up once more. Tech 9, Oscar goes down. Can they get to the AWP in time? It doesn't matter because it's the end of the half, Henry.
A game of tug of war, it seems. Mousesports getting the first 4 rounds and NiP stepping up for 7 in a row. But the pause comes in, Matt. That magical pause.
Yep.
Something about it that always brings teams back to life. They take a little bit of time to kind of reassess themselves and come back and win the last 4 as well. So they actually winning the half 8-7. That's a massive lead for Mousesports going to the second half.
Well, and started that with pistols as well. A lovely shot from Nico and then catching out Freiburg at the top of drop. But we will take a break, come back in. It's dead even between these two on Cbble. Welcome back to the first map between these two teams tonight. I think it's night number 10, if I'm not mistaken, of Pro League for Season 4. And I have to say, so far, talking point, Freiburg looking positive, I think, on this map.
I'd say so. It's a rare talking point that he's actually the one actually leading the scoreboard and actually finding very influential kills and clutches as well. 4 kills on that big clutch he got. And this is the first showing we've seen of Michael Ailey. Hasn't been amazing. It's hard to actually slot into a lineup like this and find lots of frags. You can't really read too much into it, but it is going to be Mousesports picking up the lion's share of the rounds on the CT half. So we go into the second NiP switch over, and we'll see whether they can synergize with the new addition. It was actually quite an impressive performance from Mousesports after losing 7 in a row. Just to take the pause after losing that horrible clutch situation and just managed to get everything back together. Pretty impressive stuff by them. And it will be 8-7 here. NiP and the pistol. We did see some quite aggressive play from the CTs to kick things off. That was quickly shut down with it. A very impressive retake.
Rushley's trying to show us a little bit of his family history. This is actually the castle his grandparents used to live in. That's actually his distant cousin that... there you go, that was his armor and his weapon he showed us. And then that camera on the wall is actually his contribution to the castle because he is now the observer.
It all comes around. Well, we have got players leaving the server. We have got players leaving the server here. Maybe they needed technical issues.
I think the coaching slot is acting up.
Okay.
Is what I was just told, and therefore they can't get everyone in. So they'll fix it. They'll sort it. 8-7 though. I think that's actually, like you say, the decent comeback from.
It's still an open playing field though, right? Like if someone wins a pistol here, if NiP can do it on the CT side, there's no reason why they can't do the exact same thing. It's definitely anyone's game. It's online CS with addition of Michael. He could really go off in the second half. I haven't seen too much of him yet. But this is what I'm interested to see in the second half. Will he be taking the full-time AWP role? That's what he wants to be doing now. We know we discussed that. Was that today or last week? I can't remember. Anyway, with the addition of him, I think it was today we discussed it. And basically, he wants to be an AWPer. And
it was today.
Yeah, it was today. And will he be taking that role from Forest on both halves? Like, obviously, Pitt ops on the T side for NiP traditionally, but Michael wanted to be this full-time op, and maybe that's something they can try out. I just think, like I said it today, Forest, he's actually been pretty solid at that role for NiP recently. He's not like he's been doing a bad job at all, but are they going to adjust things before, I guess, the big test is coming up next week at Starladder, when they actually have the LAN event. They've got to slot him in. I think they're doing a boot camp this weekend.
Starting, you said Saturday is what you were
I think they get there
informed?
like Friday, but Michael doesn't arrive till Saturday. So
Right.
this is the thing. They've only got like 3 or 4 days to actually get him into the lineup properly, sort everything out. And that's actually quite a big deal, considering you've got 7 maps and you're going to have some clear vetoes there. As soon as people work out what that is, you're at a pretty big disadvantage.
Nights like tonight will be hugely beneficial for that, and there is some familiarity, I guess you could say. I don't think that's going to be a huge factor, but it definitely helps instead of bringing in someone who's never even spoken with them before.
Obviously, like the threat factor of NiP, they're a completely different team to when Michael was there. They're obviously a lot more organized now. They're around structure rather than just individual plays and default essentially. But I guess that's something we'll find out what happens. Do they just go back to that loser play style?
Well, apparently we're going to be at moment fixing up these server issues, may even be switching servers, not 100% sure. That does mean that unfortunately we won't get to get this tour, which I paid big money for from Rushley around the map anymore. We're going to have to go to a break. And when we return, we'll continue things on Cobblestone. Well, we're ready to go, and the clock is already counting down. We've got a bye. We can see it. You can't. You soon will be able to. It's going to be armor on 4 for the terrorist. Speedy's going to run the utility, and on the CT side, it's going to be 3 with Get Right on nades and dualies, and Freiburg with a kit. So these dualies come back to play. Get Right's famous dualies, the Swedish dualies. We'll see if he can make anything happen. It is a long-range map, so where's exactly he going to use these at this point in time at drop room? Not surprising. Either way, it's Michael that's gone down to Oscar. First Exist has to play the longer angle. Tagged up, but does land the shot. And now Get Right's dualies go to work. Chris J gets taken down. He's double fisting. He's a heavy drinker, Get Right, and he's already going to have to, well, never mind, not even. Forrest finds the shot on Dennis from the door. I was going to say get 2, 1 for each gun, but it's just Speedy and Nico left alive, and they've switched it back over to A. It's going to be Nico. Gets the bomb plant as well, as they segregate the CTs that did rotate. So they did sell this quite well. They've got to exist so low. Decent chance to cut them off, but Forrest flanking around. It's all on Nico, 1 versus 4. Waits for the opportunity. Forrest, I think, spotted either him or the Shadow. I'm not sure. What is that, Nico? He's got 2. Exist is low. He's on top of the APC, but Get Right's dualies will save the day just barely. He almost pulls around out of absolutely nothing, Nico.
Can you imagine? 4 versus 1. Nico finds 3, and those first 2 shots were absolutely insane as well. That could have been so high if he actually managed to pull that one off. Luckily, the dualies pulls it off. He got a nice fast replay here as well. What was this first shot that happened? This one.
And that one.
Just get wrecked. Like, if he'd won the round, I would be so done. It was actually quite well played from NiP. The fact they've given him so many different angles to actually work with there in the final 2 situations. So it was pretty much a guaranteed win unless he got some sort of crazy flick shot there. But Get Right finishes things off with the dualies and actually denying the plant as well. So, oh no, the plant did actually go down. My bad. It did go down. The defuse came in. It's all fine.
It did come in, yes. Don't worry about it. We'll be all right come morning.
AA. So this will be the save from Mousesports here. AK's in the 3rd, of course. Get Right getting the auto shotgun out. Interesting decision. Let's see if that works out for him. It is an MP9 in Michael Ailey's hands, and he'll be trying to farm some cash. They know the AKs are coming next round, so if he can get a lot of kills here and try and get some money for that weapon, maybe that could be a decent upgrade for him, but I'm not sure about that auto shotgun investment. Get Right will be holding towards drop down. Probably the best place for it. At this point, Mousesports, just those pistols. Forrest in a great position there. You can just lock them down, pick the heads off at this range. They haven't really got much to shut them down.
Good positioning from Forrest. Elevated, sees all the way down over top of the half wall. Gets flashed back, but he's found the shot on Nico, and he can safely retreat inside of the site where he's joined by Freiburg. Peculiar as he leaves himself in the open. I'm not sure why Get Right takes the long shot, because then he misses the opportunity on the close player. Regardless, Forrest is doing the work. 3 kills now for him. Exist will chime in with 1, and finally Get Right shotgun will find Oscar. It goes 9-8, 2 straight rounds for NiP to start off the second half. And now the decision to bring out the correct weaponry. I think Get Right, I would be surprised if he stays at drop with that shotgun, you know?
He will. Obviously, the shotgun is viable there. It's not normally the auto shotgun that's used, obviously, the Max 7. That seems to be the most viable option. The auto shotgun, I'm sure he can make it work. He is known to be quite skilled with these shotguns, and we'll see what he brings to the table. There is the buy, of course, coming in from Mousesports. 4 AKs and Speedy. He's on the Galil. And it seems like a faster approach here from Mousesports and Molotov directly into drop down to kick things off, and they will be concentrating towards the B side as well. Smoked out for now, but a decent grenade comes in from NiP, and he does about 26 damage to Oscar as he is trying to see through a tiny gap in the smoke there. And it looks like they will have to commit towards B now. No one holding towards middle whatsoever. They've lost information and have to start acting quickly here.
Quickly indeed. Michael Lele, all right, Exist gets 1 to keep him alive slightly longer, but that's all for naught to no avail, as it's going to be Oscar now taking down Get Right as well. And they're spraying into Exist. They nade, they flame, they everything they possibly can, and it's Speedy that gets the kill as a result. Freiburg will do the same in return, though, with an aid toward Oscar. And Forrest rotating over has to play with Freiburg in this now 2 versus 3 situation. He'll go to chicken coop down there. This I don't mind. Being in there late, they're going to think they've already cleared that. No one was spawning. Dennis couldn't see this.
We'll see if it works out for him.
They're actually so confident in his positioning right now that they're already sending Freiburg back over to watch A in case the rotation goes the other way. This, I'm not sure. Okay, so I'd prefer he almost just stay put and gamble on this.
You can see Mousesports, they've got plenty of time remaining here, 40 seconds. They're seeing if they can get any info from the CTs at this point. Just holding up towards that upper platform area, seeing if Speedy can find anything in the back, seeing if someone's trying to come in the flanks there. But Freiburg now, he hasn't got much info towards A. He's just spotting from connector, and you can see a lot of blindness on his side of the map, so he's not really sure what to call. 20 seconds, the next move will have to be their last one, and they are starting to opt in to the B side, and it's going to be Freiberg to get that first kill from Connector as well. He probably can commit now, seeing as he has, and see the smoke coming in towards drop down as well. Forest, will this work out for him?
It's the low HP player that's going to be planting the bomb too. This is easy picking. Dennis considers it. Down he goes, but it's Speedy now. 4 seconds, round over. And he's got to die. He's got to die. It's too late. Round over. He's lost the gun and any income.
Yep. For those who are not familiar, if you die after the round has expired and the bomb has not been planted, of course, you go into the next round with 0 money. In this case, $450. You probably got a kill in the last round. And there it is, NiP recovering from what seemed like a pretty clean-cut round for Mousesports. You can see them actually having that man advantage, 3 versus 2, but waiting till the very last, like 20 seconds before they made the move to the B side. Freiberg rotating in a very opportune time, takes that first kill down. And like you said, Forest, perfect positioning for him, just playing patiently in chicken coop, takes down the low HP bomb planter, and that's round over at that point. There's not really much they can do about it. It's going to be a full eco here. What a grenade. It's not as damaging as it looks, as it only does 20 to each player. They will be committing towards drop down now. Get right, normally waiting for them. There it is. 2 kills to kick things off. Bomb dropped as well. Looking to get more out of this, but we'll just be opting out through the smoke.
That's smart, actually, because he gets the reload in. He tried to spray them down as they walk through. Oscar, low HP. It doesn't matter. He won't be able to close the deal. On to Get Right, because Forrest comes in to save him out, but Get Right, if he had not had the smoke and tried to spray down, I imagine it would have been traded eventually. So they keep all 5 alive as a result of this, and Mousesports 11-8. Remember, their timeout has been used in the first half.
It's true. Well, Speedy, he was the player without the money in the previous round, so he'll just be on a deagle. His teammates have got AKs around him, though. Oscar back on towards the AWP. And we'll see, it's probably moving more of a default round. I'd imagine they've committed to B a couple of times now. Let's see whether they can just work the picks on the map. Freiberg playing towards long A. Quite aggressively here. He does use a smoke to actually delay the terrorist here. And good grenades coming in. Lots of damage done towards Dennis in middle. I see now spamming through the smoke, and still bullets coming his way. He needs to be very careful here. It's Forest inflicting a lot of damage, so they'll fall back now to more of a defensive stance. The bomb is towards mid still. Terrorists do have utility available. We still haven't really gained anything on the map. As of yet, looks like they'll be grouping up towards long A. Pretty default stuff. You can use the smoke towards middle, try and push the CTs back along, gain that area, then you can actually open yourself up some options in terms of where you're going to finish on the map, whether it's towards B or actually fully executing on the A side.
Forrest. Same position we saw him in previously, trying to watch down toward that bottom mid position and Get Right at the corner at long. Safe position. So Dennis on Deagle at 24 should be the martyr in this. They want the AWP to clear the longer angle first, but I imagine when they get to the point where they're entering the site, the Deagle will lead charge. And then play for trades, which they could do at Get Right's position if he doesn't get the support from Freiberg accordingly.
No presence towards B. This will be quite easy to read for NiP. The execution coming in with 25 seconds remaining as well. Good bait going into towards long A. Freiberg looking keen to get this first kill, but Get Right has been detected.
Here's where the trade potential comes in. They get him as Oscar holds the angle, waiting for him to escape. Nico gets a kill before that. They've actually got the man advantage on this. And I was going to say NiP did so well. That smoke is actually lovely. Michael got the shot on Speedy. But there's 6 seconds. Exist has waited. Bomb planted safe side. Dennis won't get that down. It's denied. Well played from Exist to just bait them in. He lets his teammates do all the work. And I have to say, the one thing I was about to mention, NiP did very well to hold on to utility so late because that Molotov went out. It buys an additional 7 seconds when they were already at 35 to go before even entering onto the site.
The problem with Mousesports there, they just didn't really do anything for the first 30, 40 seconds. They were holding from the middle for so long. By the time they actually got some long A control, there was only about 35 seconds remaining. And as I said, they hadn't had any presence towards B whatsoever, not even one person lurking or faking towards that area. So once that execution came in, very easy to read there. You can use the smokes, drop the Molotovs, and it was a difficult ordeal for Mousesports. A fast B rush here, Exist getting the first frag. Looking for the double, doesn't work out from there, but Get Right backing up from drop down. He finds 3, locks the round down as well. Forrest to finish things off. 2 frags found for Mousesports with no bomb plant again. Money situation is getting to a point of maximum loss bonus now, so they can buy into this round, but some tough losses so far, yet to pick up a round here on the second half. It's 13-8 in favor of the Ninjas. Big round for Mousesports. A double orb set up on the T side, which is interesting. It means they have to have another very slow picking mentality here. And we had some questions whether NiP would be using Michael on the both sides of the AWP. Seems like they will be going forward with that, at least on Cbble for now.
Oscar's going to wait for anyone to present themselves. Oh, Michael might, but Oscar's already moved. Flash over. Michael I'm surprised. Because that was a slow peek from Oscar. Looked on our screen that it seemed a foregone conclusion, but he goes down, and now Nico and Chris J walk in the second AWP. T side, it's found a kill as well. Oscar inside some flames, seemingly, because his HP diminishes rapidly, but stays with 36 in the end of it, and bomb to be planted by Dennis. They've got the close corner covered off from Nico's position, and NiP are already buzzing out on this. They're not even going to contest.
Yeah, that was... we kind of discussed this as well, that we think about Michael Ealy being that flashy AWP player. You can see him trying to open the map up, forcing it a little bit. It's not like that's an amazing angle for an AWPer to take. Normally, the great AWPers will flash over, maybe use the broken wall, and then after the smoke's expired, that's when they'll be at the steps area. Going there at the start of the round and getting beaten by the slow peak, as you said, is pretty underwhelming. And it's been a pretty slow game for Michael Ealy so far, 8-14 so far. He's actually one of the lowest performing players on the server for now, but as we said, early days with him, it's difficult to slot into a lineup and just be lights out from day one. This is the first game he's ever played for them since the addition of him with the substitution of Disco Doplin. So yeah, it's difficult to work out how this will look for him going forward. But a double AWP setup this time for the CTs.
I mean, that, to me, seems... I mean, glancing at radar, perhaps, or is it...
It's just one of those angles, it's so 50-50, right? It's like you either have a gap in the smoke you can use, or you boost yourself on the box, you use the flashbang before you get there. But this time, Forrest, he's towards middle aggressively, trying to find that first pick. Oscar has been fantastic this game, actually finding these kills and openings for Mousesports. He does it once again here. And it's going to be the 5-4. Now Mousesports, they don't have to commit too early. They don't have to push back. They know they've got the advantage this time. The problem was before, when they were holding on for so long, they actually had no real estate on the map whatsoever. No damage, no intel, no presence. And at this point, they can actually wait for the reaction to come in from the CT, see if anyone's going to try and hunt for a kill. They've done damage towards Freiburg as well. They'll be aware of that. And this is okay. Still 1 minute 15 remaining. They actually do have Nico towards drop down as well. So as they go towards A, he'll be there. We know he's a very intelligent player, and he thrives on these opportunities to be by himself, listening rotations and sound cues to work out when he needs to make his move to be very efficient and beneficial to his team.
Nico is just watching that drop position again as Freiburg. Top mid. Late Molotov, 49 seconds, so affect very much, to be fair. Bomb's going that direction. They've actually, on Nico alone, this late,
yep, this is what it's about.
have committed to the B site. This is actually quite good. A little bit of utility, no one facing on A, and NiP getting a little bit antsy, perhaps.
Well, his teammates are coming to join him. So once again,
had the A site.
They've run out of time, haven't they? So they're going to be at 25 seconds. Nico needs to start moving now. Well, that's a great move. Takes down Exist, but Michael Ealy finally coming to life here. Hits the first shot in a while. Takes down Nico from Chicken Coop. And with 20 seconds remaining, what's the play for Mousesports here? Do they even have a chance to get the bomb down?
Early reactions missed on the second, taken down by Speedy and Oscar. He's got get right. They win the round regardless. They just walk in and find the kills. And again, the op duel lost by NiP, 13-10 now. Mousesports starting to climb back in, and money not really in the hands of NiP. Freiburg can go for pistols. In fact, they all could really level at around 1900, but this is not done by any stretch of imagination just yet.
Interesting. I thought that round would be done. You'd assume that the NiP would be adjusting, making them forced to the plant, not facing everything. But the Molotov came in towards Chicken Coop. Michael Ealy had the face, of course, but his teammates seemed to drop like flies. The backstab from drop-down room as that attention was coming in from the upper platform as well. It seemed too much for them. So NiP on a full eco this time. It will be 13-11 unless some sort of absolute miracle comes in for the CTs. But Oscar once again opening it up with that AWP seems very influential for them. Nico 22 frags as well, Oscar 21. That's the tag team combo. That's what makes this team so scary now going into the remainder of 2016. Two absolute superstars here. One of them, well, I guess in two different disciplines. One of the best riflers on the planet, one of the best AWPers. It's actually a really exciting combination if you put them together. And if they can utilize them properly, there's no reason why we can't see Mousesports actually start to get really deep in some tournaments now.
Yeah, and I mean, for years we've been wondering when Mousesports is going to take that step forward. They had Alu for a while, the Godby era with them. I mean, they've had some skill go through the lineup. But I think you're right. This is the most explosive we've seen them. Chris J, Oscar once more double up setup against the Pistols. Freiburg down. 52 seconds. They're starting to play a more of a, I would say, early year Na'Vi SK style, where they're wait, strike, and they've bait out the utility of the CTs, figure out their setup, and play a pretty standard default at the beginning of the round. And it's Dennis this time that'll catch Get Right trying to get information, so it's working out in this sense against the Pistols.
Yeah, this game has got a few more twists and turns. Yeah, NiP may have the lead for now, but Mousesports building economy And a lot of reset potential for NiP going forward. They'll be on third stage, loss bonus next round. Still 3 of them are alive for now, but this should be an easy kill for Speedy, maybe over-committing with that spray. It does get taken down by the USB of Michael, and it's going to be 4 versus 3 now. That's probably going to try and save that AK-47 in the hands of Forrest. There's a deal for Exist as well, so let's try and defend him as we go to the next round. So $2,400 going into their bank accounts. Next, it won't be the best buy. I think Freiburg probably can just about get an AWP if they really wanted to. But still, not going to be the best buy. Saving that AK, though, that certainly helps. Means they can adjust the wealth around and make sure they have some residual cash going forward. But if they were to win the next round in a 1v1, for example, and Mousesports came back and won, definite double eco. And we'll be 13-11 here. Pretty simple round for Mousesports. Only have to find 1 kill to secure it. But they're going to get a little bit of a hunt here. Probably not necessarily worth it. They know they've given away 1 rifle here. They've got a lot more to lose than the CTs have, considering they have that double AWP setup on the T side, which actually has been working out for them quite nicely. And there it is, Freiburg out. Like I said, he's probably the only one who could squeeze out an AWP. Michael Lady has 4,800, enough for the glass cannon. Opts against it. To be fair, it's not like he's hitting a lot of shots at the moment. Probably wants to be more of a passive play, go for 1 kill on the bomb side. The crossfires of the rifles probably be a little bit more influential for them, have some utility as well to contribute. This is quite a deciding round going forward. Once again, facing towards upper platform. The problem is NiP do not have a single AWP this time. Have to change their setup a little bit. This is the adjustment. Exist going up onto the tree. Freiburg alone towards long A, using that same smoke to buy himself some time, and Forrest will be backing him up from middle.
Oscar. I like how he considers everything. Looks to the top of the smoke as if there might be a boost. But as the smoke fades, he'll realize there's no such threat toward that position. Flash down, get right, still waiting passively at drop as always. And once more we go into a bit of a stalemate, just this very tactical game. It's tedious and mentally straining a lot of the times to play against this, specifically when you're on the CT side, because you've got to have so much discipline. You're wanting to find more information. You're wanting to start pushing out and taking advantage of these situations, but you know, or rather you don't know, depending on how you look at it, where they're waiting for you. And Forrest, different angle to play toward the bottom of ramp. Shoulder exposed, but he's trying to play a very tight crevice, and it's Oscar that's got the better accuracy with the AWP, and he'll go down. That's 1 lost on A. How's the rotation as a result? Well, for the T side, they're starting to group up on that side of the map with 28 seconds left, but the CTs, they're still over toward B. It's just Freiburg in this position at barrels, and head shown as well. He's not going to play the late game. It will put him above the flames, though. That may be something to salvage in all of this, but watch the wrap underneath the balcony. Speedy, he'll get close first. Spots him, does Freiburg. He's got the shot. This will allow a rotation on the balcony from his teammates. Potentially more in this. Get right. And Freiburg, they've dropped the bomb down. 7 seconds. The time, it's ticked away, and Mousesports have done themselves a disservice by leaving themselves no opportunity to clutch this back. Nico, 1 versus 3, stay alive. As the time is expired, and he'll go down. Bye-bye cash, bye-bye rifle. He's got carried over residual cash, sure, but the income lost, at least on that round.
Yeah, to be fair, it would only be 1,400, but still, yes, it is a little bit damaging. And you can see Freiburg, I thought he was absolutely done for it. Look at the timing working out for him. He actually could have got 2 from this position alone. He gets that first kill towards Speedy. Once again, Mousesports, like you said, it is quite similar to that Navi plays that we're used to. We run the clock down, try and work the picks, and then you go for your execution, try and work together as a very tight unit. But if it doesn't work out, if you lose that first kill, it gets chaotic towards the bomb site. 10 seconds enough to actually find 2 or 3 kills once you've actually lost the man advantage can be very detrimental, and it's proven about 3 or 4 times in this game so far. Huge round for NiP to pick up, especially after Oscar got that opening pick as well. So we go into round number 11. Still money available for Mousesports here, but NiP very close to match points. Freiburg, we mentioned it before, that's another play where he's not necessarily doing the flashiest, insane shots, but he's doing enough to win the rounds by himself.
Freiburg again, we'll watch from his perspective. He's going to look out toward the long corner. What a game. And we've got another still ahead of us between these two teams on cash, which NiP's played a lot of this season.
Yep, pretty convincingly as well.
Yep, NiP will lose the first man this time, though. Nico finally winning the duel against Get Right. No trade potential. A little bit of spray through the wall puts him on 22, but 22 is enough. 22 will do. He'll go toward balcony, and this could catch off Freiburg, who's still anticipating A. They know they don't have anyone to connector. He's got to look this direction. Does so at the right time. And Nico will go down. And again, he'll look toward the front of the site where Forrest is playing outside of Stables, catches them with the nades out, one down, gets a little bit of damage coming through him. I think that was from his teammate and it distracted him enough, but Freiburg steps back up, 3 kills for him before finally going down, but it leaves Oscar in a 1 versus 2, and Michael will put them on the map point.
He does it again. It was NiP towards drop down by himself. We talk about him trying to find opportunities on the map and give his team some presence and actually allow them to have distraction while they make their way towards A. He gets that first kill towards Get Right, but you can see Freiburg very aware the balcony could have been a problem for him. Takes down the low HP NiP and actually adjusts himself once again. 3 frags. Forrest doing some good work from Stables as well, and it's Mousesports now up against it. They have to force by its match point. 15-11. They have got the AWP of Oscar. 2 AKs, but 2 players on pistols as well. This would be a great opportunity now for NiP to close things out. They lose this round. I think it still has a few more to go. So we'll see whether they can hold on and just close things out now. Not the perfect opportunity. Oscar with the AWP being absolutely fantastic at finding these first frags. This time he's working towards B. Michael on the AWP as well, but he's actually got a much more passive position this time. Won't be giving his frag away at the start. Probably can feel he's losing the majority of these AWP battles.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Oscar's a top-level mic, or excuse me, Opera. I was watching you adjust the mic. The cable seems to be hitting itself as the issue, but top-level Opera as exists. He'll be the one to watch drop this time. Get Right's gone back toward the rock. Yeah, so big duel, I mean, for Michael to come back in, back on the AWP, not really playing since April at the top level, and to go against a guy like Oscar is a challenge, but if they win the game, that's all that matters, and they've got one more round to do so. Early damage dealt toward Mousesports, it's minor. He goes on 65, that's the lowest of anyone, but he may go lower than that. Get Right, as he gets tagged up through the edge of the wall. It's 43 HP now for him. Michael he's got to hit these shots, does that time before the flash lands, but he's caught out. As Get Right goes down, he's left in the open. Forrest is going to try and fight back and pull the dropper him. He dies. It's going to be a great play from Exist. A good kill, but they turn back. They can't find it to answer it off. That gives Freiburg a chance to enter, but he's pincered out. Chris J just watching that front angle, and he's low on HP, but he's tagged up Exist. This gives them a chance. Bomb down, 20 seconds to go, and Nico, the last man alive. He's the most threatening player in this situation, and he's got an AWP, but he's electing to go Tech 9. Knows he's tagged, getting close. This gun's lethal. He's got the movement mechanics. Exist looking for him, but he's on the wrong side, and Nico's got the headshot.
Every time you're in a clutch situation with NiP, you know he's just going to be in the exact opposite place you expect him to be. This timing is to perfection as well. Exist low HP. NiP knew where he was. Just sneaks up with the Tech 9, knew he was low HP, and finishes off the job. The problem is now, like I said, if Mousesports were somehow to pick up that round with 2 pistols, then it gets interesting. We might have an overtime on our hands. We can see the money has been completely shut down for NiP here. Michael once again, he gets that 1 kill, but he just doesn't have the potential to get more than 1 each round, it seems. He gets 1 shot, which is pretty simple, and then it's nothing else left in the tank to actually win the round for them. I feel like at this point, Forrest to do a much better job with the AWP. Seems like... yeah,
you have to wonder if this is just lack of time working with Michael and it's letting him kind of do what he wants to do comfortably.
Situations, like, you need to be nailing more shots than that, especially than what I've seen. It's not like you have to...
I totally agree with you, 100%. I'm just saying the decision to put him on it in the first place might just be to let him be the most comfortable this evening, to get things done simply. Nico again, same as the last round ended, it shall begin this time around. So too Dawn turns in today as Michael falls once more at his hand. It's going to be Forrest waiting to try and bait Get Right in at the bottom of mid, but as that happens, they're slowly probing out the B site where no one's left. It's a stack up on A.
Nice little headshot there from Get Right. The USP does do considerable damage to Oscar, as he will fall back now. They have got the man advantage, 1 minute remaining. It's very unlikely they can lose this round. You can see they're reading the economy situation quite nicely. Picking up those SMGs instead of the Galils, give themselves a chance to actually farm some cash here. But Freiburg gets himself, just a little bit too late there, but Exist finding the first headshot towards Chris J.
Good start, UMP picked up. Hat drop though, but now it's, Nico, perfect position. Oh, that spray transfer. All 3 in 1 push of a button. But the positioning is so good from him. Getting that far in before the rotation even arrives, he's just lines him up. No, not the easiest lineup. He controls it nonetheless. Dennis will close it against Freiburg. Still map point for Ninjas in Pajamas. They'll be able to bring out guns once more here. Yeah, that's true. Exist can go glass cannon, but it's not really worth it. So too could Force, to be fair.
I would say take a partial by this round, then finish it off properly. If you weren't to win this round, your loss bonus hasn't really accumulated. It's a real chance to go into overtime here. So the buy has come in, they have forced it. 1 shotgun, 1 UMP, 3 M4s, and they are severely lacking across the board in terms of the grenades as well. So, like I said, I would have probably made the call here. Partial buy, have the full rifle array going into that final round and just try and finish it off with the highest percentage chance. If you lose this one, it's pretty much almost guaranteed going to overtime. They'll only get $2,400 the next round after losing this one, so lots to play for here. Round number 14. And you can see Mousesports once again slowing things right down. They're very patient, I guess, and disciplined, trying to work out what the first game plan is, trying to get some sort of idea of what the setup is from the CTs. We're on board with Freiburg right now, actually a two-man setup towards danger. As Forrest rotates back towards middle.
Yeah, so actually this leaves, if they were to strike right now, Freiburg slightly isolated. He's going to have to watch from long corner. That's the intention here for Forrest to try and play this in as a two-man setup, and he's got there in time just as they start to round the corner. Freiburg, Dennis is the one against him. It's going to be him trying to peek it out. Freiburg's there. Gun barrel shown. That's a gift, but he misses the shot. No way. The whole clip gone almost, and Dennis turns back to get him. Is that enough to cost them dearly? Because this is map point, and money is strapped on the CT side. 4 versus 5, 4 now. Okay, get right. It does get Dennis back with the UMP from a distance as well. But Michael, he's got a shotgun. He's doing better than with the AWP because already he's got one toward the drop room. The Flames will hold back Speedy. He's got to go quickly, though, because his teammate's wrapping around behind Michael, and he's done it. Speedy falls before NiP gets in position. Bomb down, 8 seconds, and a 1 versus 3 in NiP. They might just get this map after all. Another close one as NiP shuffles to his left, and it's done already. 1 second, there's no time for the plant. It's over. You can get all the kills you want, NiP, but it will not save it. It's going to be the map to NiP.
What an exciting round to finish it on, Matt. It looked like Freiburg had completely fluffed it, missed every single bullet from danger. I thought that was it, round over. There's no way of bouncing back from that one, but it's get right with the UMP, long range. I guess Freiburg did just enough damage to actually guarantee that kill. And Michael Eddie been very quiet throughout that entire map, but somehow the shotgun prevails, and he manages to pick up 2 kills towards the end, and they do it.
And the timing was like so perfect for Michael Eddie. If he had stayed out in front of the tree for another like 2 seconds, NiP was there. He falls back, gets the kill as well, and NiP can do nothing about it.
That was an exciting way to finish it. That was actually a really interesting game. We've got to see a lot of NiP's plan is going forward in this land going forward, but Mousesports got to be disappointed with that one. We'll throw it over to the desk, I guess, and see what they think. Mitch, take it away.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Mousesports have to be disappointed after a very solid first half here coming in, of course, on the CT side. We'll start with that one. They were super aggressive on, well, not super aggressive, but they were quite adamant on A long. They really wanted to hold NiP off at that entry side.
I mean, definitely, it's you know, NiP is really good at, if you give them map control for free, pretty much, they're really good at exploiting it. So Mousesports wanted to force them that if they want to get map control, they would have to spend resources, they would have to spend time and manpower in order to do so, right? And Mousesports had a good start, being up 4-0, but then they threw away a couple of rounds. They had where NiP gets a triple kill early on, they were in a 4v2, and then some fast trades, a bit of impatient play from their own members cost them a round, and that was a round where if they had won it, it would force NiP to eco.
Yeah, I mean, it became a little frustrating towards some of those rounds that they lost because, you know, they were trying to go for example, and drop. They tried to boost an op there, and then it happened that NiP was actually taking it over really fast, and they got destroyed right away. So that's going to be really tough on you when you try to do things, but then your opponent happens to do the exact kryptonite of what you're doing. And at the same time, Mouse was struggling with NiP's standards of taking that A long. Like they just basically couldn't hold him off, or just had to kind of lose map control a little bit too much for NiP. And then when they have the free roaming room, they're just going to utilize and then exploit it.
So second half as well, very, very interesting one. Obviously, NiP off to a good start off the back of the pistol. They win the first gun round. Mousesports break back in with 3 rounds. And then things start to get quite close there. NiP giving a good account of themselves on the CT side.
I was saying in the pre-show how the biggest problem for Mouse with their old lineup was that they were hesitant on their T side. They were spending too much time without doing something, you know, significant on the map. And then they would be left with almost no time when they actually have to execute. And that happened again in this game. Early on, you saw probably the most notable round was the one where Freiburg was hiding in the corner, and you see the Mouse took so much time getting this round. You see it's 13 seconds left. They still haven't, you know, gotten into the bomb site with the C4, and Freiburg doesn't really even need to get both of these kills. He gets one of them. He buys enough time. It creates chaos. Mousesports need to adapt, and they don't have time for it. Even the last round of the game, they ran out of time, right? So when they started winning, it was when they sped it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that was a classic example of quote forgetting to check the whole bomb site. You know, that one corner you need to check that. Obviously, Get Right had a massive impact from the balcony as well. But it felt to me that in the defaults that Mouse were doing, that unless it was Oscar getting the opening kill, they would not really have anything going on, and then the time would wind down. They'll end up rushing into a bomb site, and it just like when you put yourself in that situation, you have 20 seconds on the clock. You know, on the bomb side, you just kind of rush things, and then you forget to do certain little things. So that's just a little lack of finesse, and definitely something to work with here.
So talking about obviously trying to play on the CT side, and you're dealing with storm mechanics, right? You're dealing with smokes, you're dealing with the enemy CTs, really just trying to make sure you can't get information and get in your way. Obviously, everyone has to deal with that. Everyone has to deal with that up against a CT side team that's bought into utilities. So for Mousesports, was it indecision? I mean, let's speculate here a little bit. Was it indecision because they have time, even outside of that storm mechanics, you know, they can still try and work for entries. Are they afraid to go forward? Are they not confident with the amount of information they've got before making a move?
I think it mostly depends on, you know, what philosophy the teams have when it comes to Cbble and how to approach it on T side. You have teams who are doing it slowly because you want the CTs to spend their utility, and then it's easier for you to take over a bomb site. But it's also completely viable to, you know, rush your way in, especially if the CTs are low on economy, right?
Sure.
So initially, Mousesports was going for that slower style where they would, you know, wait for the CTs to spend their smokes, then Molotovs and everything, and then they would go in and execute. But you know, the Fiber Ground actually threw a molly there, but he was on the barrels, so that doesn't affect him. So they didn't even expect him there. And the problem is, once you have 15 seconds left, that small thing, even if you trade 1 for 1, it can be enough for you to just lose the route. So I personally prefer when teams are a bit at least faster than that, right? If not outright pushing early on.
I think when you put it in a nutshell, I guess that what separates the best from the rest is that they can switch gears, and they'll have that faster default where they'll take over drop, for example. They'll get a player on the B plat, and he's going to be able to just force an opening kill, and that just gives you massively more opportunities.
I think Mousesports adapted, but it was too little too late.
It's an interesting comparison to make on teams and how they want to play out in those T-sided rounds. You know, we've got teams like G2 who can change the pace up a lot. We've got teams like Na'Vi who will play the round slow, and when there's time to execute, they decisively execute. There's no more questions asked. They sort of dotted their I's and crossed their T's and ready to go.
And it's because of just how skilled their lineup is that they can do that. They'll get away with that situation because they'll have guys that will hit those shots 10 out of 10 times. So obviously Mousesports has a lot of talent, but they're not cohesively together as a team, not at that level as Na'Vi is, for example.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us, you've missed 3 excellent maps so far. The latter, of course, being this previous one down below. It was NiP getting over the top by 3 rounds. If you do want to catch up on the matches that you did miss, there is an app for that. The Score Esports app available on iPhone and Android devices. Head over to your respective app stores, get that one on your phone, and get browsing and get your knowledge up. We're back after the break here for one more map for the week. It's going to be cash between these 2 teams, and we'll see if it was just Mousesports exploiting G2's weaker CT side that gave them the win, or something else entirely. We'll see you shortly.